Hello, dear mixed and biracial community. Welcome to the channel. Today's topic will be about smear campaigns, and it's gonna be pertaining to this channel, or the biracials, MGMs, exotical channels, and the non-exotical channels, or the non-racially ambiguous channels. Okay, but when specifically speaking, I'm gonna be talking about how these non biracial MGM light skin channels, exotical channels, are defaming. You know, they are defaming, um, and and spreading defamation about biracial mixed race spaces, exotical spaces, saying that they're racist, saying that they are colorist, saying that they're features, saying that they're texturist, etc. You know? And they're doing this, they're saying these things without any proof or receipts whatsoever. You know? They just look at a clip or whatever. A lot of these people already have biases. They already have like a type of bias or prejudice against biracials, MGMs, etc. And they want to form their narrative, And so what they'll do is they'll take like a clip, like a 5-minute clip. They don't even, sometimes like they'll take like a 5-minute clip or 10-minute clip of a video that catches your eye or whatever, and even the title. And sometimes these people don't even try to watch the video through to actually see what it's about. They just automatically see the title or automatically hear a couple words and then throw it in, like, oh, you guys are racist, you're colorist, and da da da, like, automatically hop on the hate wagon of basically like, you guys are hateful and blah blah blah. Like, a lot of these people, because they already have a type of form of bias, they feel like they don't have to watch you or watch through or watch what you're saying. Therefore, they can, pick, cherry pick what they want and cherry pick what they don't want to hear, and they'll automatically try to form an assumption of what they think they know, but they really don't know at all. Yeah. And a lot of the times I notice that when you claim certain things, or you're unapologetic, like you're an unapologetic mixed person or biracial person or whatever, exotical, these spaces, like the non-exotical spaces, the non-biracial MGM spaces, non-ambiguous spaces, they will get mad, they will get angry. A lot of these monoracials, they will get angry, and they will try to form smear campaigns, even telling other mixed race people, biracial people, MGM people, exoticals to, stay away from, XYZ's page, like our pages, because we are full of hatred and we're racist and we don't like our blackness and we don't like thisness and that, and we have self-hatred and we're confused, just all kinds of stuff. And I'm gonna read to you a quote. It talks about narcissists, but we're gonna try to apply this in the terms of these like non-ambiguous, non-exotical spaces or whatever. So it says, in the context of a narcissist, a smear campaign refers to a tactic they may use to manipulate and control others. They spread false information or distort the truth about their target, often portraying themselves as victims and the other person as the wrongdoer. This does damage to the target's reputation, isolates them from support networks, and maintains the narcissist's own image. It's a way for the narcissist to maintain control and manipulate the perception of those around them. And you see this a lot with these monoracial communities. They like to throw rocks and hide their hands. And they like to bully mixed race, MGM, biracial people and then pretend as if, and then when biracial people bite back, they like to pretend as if they had no part in it, or biracial people, they're just evil, they're just inherently evil, or they're just naturally evil without no explanation. You know those people who say like things happen to them for no reason. Like, I'm not saying that it's impossible, because yes, there's people that do hate on you, you know, and it is for a reason. Even if it's not because you did anything wrong, it's still a reason. Maybe it's your spirit. Maybe because you're full of light or something. And this might be out of a little context, but maybe because you're a person full of light, or you're an honest person and you have values and morals, and it upsets their demons or whatever, and they're full of darkness, it will irritate or agitate their darkness. So if they see a light inside of you, of course they're either going to be drawn to you or against you. So even if the reason is not like clear, it's still a reason. But those people that say, oh, I'm just hated on for no reason. And it's just like, 9 times out of 10, it is because of a reason. Now, it depends on the reason. And a lot of the times I find that those same people that say they get hit on for no reason, some of them are full of bullcrap. Some of them are the reason why they get hated. And, so it's just very funny how a lot of monoracials like to throw, like I said, they like to throw rocks. Then as soon as somebody, they like to cause fires. They like to cause fires, but they can't take the smoke. They can't take the heat. They like to start fires, but they can't take the heat. So as soon as you give them the same energy, then you're the enemy, and then they want to play victim. And another quote that I have is, when a narcissist loses control over you, they'll go out to control what other people think about you. This is true. Like I said, when these racially ambiguous, non-exotical channels, MGM biracial channels, can't control the people that's behind these channels, and they have a voice, and they encourage other people to have a voice like I do, they will then try to derail other biracials and MGM people, and even people who aren't biracial, from supporting our channels, from supporting us, from visiting our channels, etc., from joining our spaces, because they themselves have a bias, and they want other people to have a bias too. They want other people to hate us as well. And then another quote is, when a narcissist can no longer control you, they need to still maintain a sense of dominance by controlling how others perceive you. This is often accomplished by initiating smear campaigns about you to back up their story. This is true. You can look all over YouTube and see about a good 2 or 3, 5 channels that have stuff where they talk about the exotical community, where they talk about the biracial and mixed race community, and talking about how they're colorist, how they're haters, how they're bigots, etc. Like, that's what it is. Like, it's just a wide circle of smear campaigns. Nothing but a wide circle of smear campaigns. And I'm going to say this. This is what I'm going to say. Do not let these channels that are not within the mixed and biracial space or exotical space, do not let these channels, the people behind these channels and the supporters of those channels, manipulate you guys. Do not let them manipulate and gaslight you guys into lowering your content, into changing your content. Do not let them manipulate and gas you into feeling bad. Do not let them manipulate and gaslight you. Okay? That's what they want to see. That is exactly what they want. They want you to not use your voice. They want you to change your content for them. They want you to change it so that they're more comfortable in your space. Like, no, this is my space. If you don't like it, get on. Get the heck, get the F out of my space. If you don't like this space or these spaces, go. Leave. I am not changing my content for anybody. I'm not changing my content for nobody. The only people who I'm changing my content for to make them comfortable is mixed race people, MGM people, biracial people, exotical people. And even that depends on the type of biracial MGMs. Because I'm not changing my content for the biracials, MGMs, light skin, etc. For those who like to kiss butts to the monoracials, to the communities that don't like them, to the communities that don't even like biracials, mixed race people. I'm not doing that. But the people that do support this space, the people that do need help, the people that are inactive with the space and create their own spaces, that's who I will change my community for, my space, But like I said, don't let these unambiguous, non-exotical spaces derail you from what you were doing and your purpose. Do not let them tell you otherwise. And here's the thing. I am going to hold everyone accountable. See, a lot of these spaces, especially the black community, likes to throw this, and I've talked about it in one of my videos, and I'm going to keep on talking about it. They like to throw this, oh, but you only have smoke for your black side. You only have smoke for your black side. And then even some white people, because there are some black identified or mixed race, pro-mixed race identified biracials, they'll say like, oh, but you don't claim your whiteness, you don't claim your white side. And I'm going to get into that. I'm going to talk more. It's deeper. It's really deeper than what meets the eye. But what I'm here to say is, especially on my channel, I don't know about other channels, but I know on my channel, I'm holding everyone accountable. Whether we're going to hold monoracial people accountable and even biracials, mixed race people accountable, hold ourselves accountable, and I think too many people get comfortable with thinking just because you identify as this race, that race, or whatever, or your own, that you don't have to hold anyone accountable for their actions, you know, and that's a false, that is a false interpretation. That's a fault. Yeah. Um, if you think just because I identify as both black and white, or one more than the other, or even mixed, that I'm not gonna hold the people within those races, spaces accountable, you have another thing coming. Okay? And I'm gonna say it because nobody else is gonna say it. Just because you hold someone accountable, whether they're in the black space, white space, Hispanic space, Asian space, doesn't make you racist. You know, people like to often, if you say anything bad or anything that a person disagrees or doesn't like, or especially if they know they are guilty, or they know they are guilty, or they know they are bad, or they have committed a bad action or said something bad or whatever, or along the lines of negativity or something like that, and they know they are guilty of it, or they know that they have done or said that thing, but instead they want to make it seem like you're the bad guy for pointing it out or calling their behavior out for what it is. And it's just like, yeah, but they want to gaslight you and call you racist. Oh, you're racist. Oh, and they want to, throw all the excuses in the book, you know, to distract you from their from really calling out their poor, selfish behavior for their bad actions. And I see this a lot, especially within the racial communities. You know, Instead of taking accountability for the behavior, they like to say you're racist, or even people that's not within that community, but that supports that community. The enablers. They'll pull out all the reasons in the book why the behavior is normal or okay, and that you're just overreacting, you're just racist, you're just this and that. And it's just like, no. You know, and this is the racial card. This is where the racial card, the racial pass, comes in. People like to throw the race card whenever, as a front in order instead of taking accountability. And I'm going to get into that. Like I said, it's going to be a whole bunch. I'm going to make a video explaining about a whole bunch about that stuff. But yeah, I've noticed this. And it's like, no, I'm going to hold you. I don't care if you're black, white, Puerto Rican. I don't care. I don't even care if you're mixed. Even us, I'm going to hold us accountable. Because I just am. Just because you're black and white, I'm not just going to say everything positive about you. Especially if there's nothing but negativity and being displayed. You don't get to just have one image painted of you. No. Now, if the black or white community or mixed race community, if everything was so positive, then yeah. But no, there's two or more sides to every story. Y'all only like to take credit or be credited when it's positive, and it's like, no. In this world, you don't get to do that. You don't get to dictate how others perceive you or think of you, especially when you put the behavior that you put out there. The behavior, you don't get to say, well, I'm good, but then do bad stuff, and then only want the good parts out there. Like, no. If you do bad, bad is, gonna come to you. Like, bad is gonna be shown, shown to you. Like, if you do something bad, people are gonna call it out. If you do something good, people are going to call it out. Like, you don't just get to say, just do whatever you want, even if it's reckless, and then, be like, but, I'm good though when we do good things, but then act like animals at the same time. Like, it doesn't work like that. Life doesn't work that way, and it never will. I'm tired of it. Like I said, I don't care. Even if I am part of your group, even myself, I'm going to call it out. I'm going to call myself out. Like I said, I'm going to take accountability. Just like I'm going to hold others accountable on this channel. I don't care. Call me a freaking colorist, racist. I don't care. All you are doing is just trying to avoid accountability for your poor actions, your poor behaviors. But no. But people seem to think that just because you are white or black that you can't call out poor behavior for what it is. And it's like, no. Even as a biracial, I would still call out if I see another biracial doing something wrong, or even if I say something wrong, I'm still going to call it out for what it is and try to make things right. But anyways, that's all I had to say. Like I said, for my biracial and mixed people, don't let these communities gaslight you and manipulate you into changing who you are. And even if you call out, make your own spaces, or know people that make their own spaces, that calls out these communities, even their own, don't let the people that don't want to take accountability try to manipulate you and gaslight you into, how to create your own content, and what to post and not post, and what to say and not say, and try to shame you for holding people accountable. Don't let that happen. Please just don't. But anyways, with that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe, and yeah, have a great day.